getting you up and getting your sports day started. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3.
Hope you had a good sleep last night and are ready to go for a Tuesday. We'll have High School Fan Zone on the air for you tonight. Coaches from Monterey and Lubbock High, as Jeff mentioned in his Sports Center, will enter the High School Fan Zone tonight at 7 o'clock. Monterey coming off of a loss, a tough one, down in Odessa. And Lubbock High riding high with a win over Socorro. So that'll be tonight from 7 to 8 on 100.7 The Score. As far as high school football this week, and apparently it's a sellout with only standing room only available. You'll be able to hear it on both 100.7 The Score and on Double T 97.3 from Pirate Stadium, Friendship, and Lubbock Cooper. That'll be a Jim Dandy.
Hope so.
Yeah, that should be quite the contest. I mean, it's a sold-out crowd right now.
Well, I don't think there's any question there'll be a great atmosphere. There's no doubt about that. Just a matter of will it be a good game or not.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you have, the Lubbock Cooper Pirates coming off a win over Dumas, 27-8, and the Friendship Tigers coming off of a loss to the Coronado Mustangs, 20-14. So we'll see who makes the adjustments for week 2, right?
Well, I think Cooper did a terrific job of making adjustments after the first half,
right?
In their first game on Friday night. So feels like they come in kind of rolling, feeling pretty good about things. And we talked about Friendship and just kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit last week. And if they can clean up some of that mess, then they give themselves a chance. But Cooper looks pretty good.
They got to clean them up.
Yep.
Monterey this week will take on Wiley. That'll be over at Lowry Field. Also this week, Estacado will take on Dumas. Okay, so maybe quick phone call over to the Lubbock Cooper folks. Hey, what'd you see over there? What'd you see from that Dumas team? What kind of problem did they give you? Right, a little coach phone call speak for you.
Sure.
That's coach over here at Estacado. Yeah, coach. You weren't really big on that one, were you? Lubbock High plays.
That was great.
Lubbock High plays at Big Spring on Saturday. Okay, so that'll be a 7 o'clock tilt for the Lubbock High schoolers. Okay, all right. Let's see. Chuck will be behind you several rows on Saturday night. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. When can we expect the Sun to get behind the press box? I think about 7:37. Okay. I think about 7:37. Maybe we should have maybe those of us on the east side should have a little coffee clutch, right about, before we go for kickoff and see if we can have a little pot to see what time it is. Everybody throw in a buck. Buy something from the concession stand, Coca-Cola or hot dog or something. Hang in there, Chuck. I'm with you and experiencing all aspects of the game atmosphere. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I didn't say I wouldn't enjoy it.
We just don't analyze it. Yes, we also enjoy it. It's it's the whole thing together is great. Yes,
and I stand by the scariest thing I've ever seen is when Zach Thomas was on the big jumbotron telling us to get up and make noise. I'm just saying.
You're going to stand up and make noise.
I'm just Zach tells us to do something. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Without a doubt. Okay. So keep them rolling this morning on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll have Ranger baseball on Double T 97.3 at 6:30. They take on the Houston Astros. Quick little 2-game set. For the 76 games that these two teams play against each other, you would think that
19.
When they would get together, it'd be for more than 2. But this is a quick wham bam thank you ma'am kind of series tonight, and then tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow will be a 12:30 pregame, which is kind of strange to do a day game in late August here with the kids all back in school. So I guess those that are retired or unemployed or just don't care about their jobs and want to go to the ball game and sneak away.
I feel like they're doing that more on Wednesdays and or Thursdays. I wonder if that was something in the last agreement that the players union asked for.
The getaway days.
The getaway early games so for travel days, so they're not traveling as late at night.
Yeah.
Rangers have to go to Boston, start a series on Thursday. So you would assume that has something to do with
maybe
it, right?
so. Yeah, maybe so.
But it does feel like they're doing more of that this year than in previous years.
It seems that way, right?
Seems like every Wednesday or Thursday is early unless they're off on Thursday.
Yeah.
And they use that as, time to regain their rest or whatever.
Maybe that was an Eric Nadel codicil of the contract where he said, guys, I am really tired of dragging in at 4 o'clock in the morning off some charter flight, getting into this big, huge, fancy hotel. I mean, I appreciate all the accommodations that everybody does, but man, I need to get to bed a little earlier.
I love how you think the broadcaster makes the decisions.
Sarcasm.
Yeah,
Sarcasm.
Man, that's you guys must have it really good with the Lady Raiders. Coach Gerlich must be a terrific person.
They take great care of us.
She bends over backwards to make it work for you and Fink. That just shows how important you guys are.
We try to provide what little we can.
It's really impressive.
I know you know who she is, and I'm probably going to mispronounce her name, but I just wanted to get your take on this. The U.S. Open is underway.
Serena is her name.
Yeah, Serena Williams. Yeah, she's going to.
That's how you say it.
Is this it for her? Do you think? Is this this truly? Is this her last tournament?
Yeah.
And then we'll never see her again.
You'll probably see her, but I think she's going to retire. I think she's going to be done. Yeah.
Okay. She said she wants to have another baby.
She doesn't look like she's in playing condition now.
Right.
Say nothing about going to take some time off and play again. Yeah.
Does she have any shot of winning?
No. If not for double faults and just some poor decision making, could have lost last night.
Okay.
It was a great atmosphere for her last night. I mean, it was every point she won. I mean, the fans there in New York just were so excited for her. So it was really cool. And obviously you want to see her go out with something good happen.
Sure,
and
right.
I just don't think, I don't think she's just a shell of her former self.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, and you hate when athletes stay a little bit too long, and she's definitely one that stayed a little too long because she's such a great player, maybe the greatest of all time on the women's side, and she's just not there right now.
If you were guessing, probably if she'd have tied Margaret, it's Margaret Court that she's one behind for majors, right? If she'd have tied Margaret Court, maybe a year ago or even 2 years ago, she might have been done.
I think she probably would have stuck around trying to
break it.
Break it, yes. Yeah. But I think that's been the reason that she's hung around as long as she has to try to tie that record. And I get it.
Yeah,
I understand. I totally get it.
No question.
Unfortunately, it's just time catches up with everyone, and then she's also, it's a harder when she's had a baby.
Right.
I mean, great male athletes don't deal with that kind of.
No, they don't have babies.
They take that time off, all that time that she missed when she was still pretty good, might have made a difference. She could have gotten a major in there too. So, Anyway, I don't think that she's going to have a chance. I think the last match she'll play will be probably with her sister in doubles in the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Because I think she'll go farther there than she will in singles.
Maybe they could make a little magic. Of course,
that'd be super cool.
Yeah,
that'd be a great story.
I mean, that would get her the tie with Margaret Court for.
No, it's singles.
Oh, it's just singles. I thought it was singles and doubles combined.
But she's got doubles majors too.
Yeah, she does. All right. Well,
I think I heard a stat that her and her sister are undefeated in championship matches and in gold medals in doubles.
Only in championships.
Yeah, like when they get to
they never lost in the finals.
Never lost in the finals and never lost a gold medal.
I could believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll get to where I was going here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hijacked. My bad.
No. It's all good because I wanted to pick your brain about Serena a little bit, and so, but I'll pick up just a little tennis tidbit. You'll probably be highly irritated with it, because it's like, really? That's what you're worried about. We'll do that next here this morning on the morning drive. Plenty of Red Raider football as well. And Centex Hank has a baseball question. I have the same question for Jamie. along with another thought along those same lines.
Big plays and even bigger laughs. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is August the 30th, 2022. We have a big birthday in this place today.
I didn't know Cameron Diaz worked here.
No, she does not. But here's Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
1905, Detroit Tigers future Baseball Hall of Fame center fielder Ty Cobb makes his major league debut. What's he do? He doubles in a 5-3 win over the New York Highlanders at Bennett Park in Detroit.
I was expecting you to say he got like 5 hits. Yeah.
It was his first day.
Yeah.
1910, Yankee Tom Hughes pitches 9 innings of no-hit ball, but loses to Cleveland 5-0 in 11 innings. That hurts.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts a lot. 1912, St. Louis Browns' Earl Hamilton no-hits the Detroit Tigers 5-1. Fast forward to 1961, Oriole Jack Fisher walks 12 Los Angeles Angels in a 9-inning game. 1965, Casey Stengel announces his retirement after 55 years in baseball. 1984, Red Sox Jim Rice grounds into a record 33rd double play of the season en route to 36 on the year. Two things from 1987. Kirby Puckett goes 6 for 6 with 2 home runs in a Minnesota Twins 10-6 victory over Milwaukee. And with knuckleballer Charlie Huff on the mound, Rangers catcher Gino
Petrali.
Hey, there we go. Ties a major league record for allowing 6 pass balls. That knuckleball, that's hard to catch.
Well, if you could catch it, it was job security, especially if you had a guy like Charlie Huff or Phil Necro or Joe Necro or
kind of specialists.
Wilbur Wood or somebody like that.
Knuckleball catcher specialist.
Knuckleball catchers, yeah. It's kind of like a long snapper.
Seeing this name and this particular event always makes me think of the Nike commercial. Dan O'Brien sets a U.S. decathlon record of 8,812 points.
Dan and Dave, right?
Man, that could have been awesome, and then they tried to fix it for that ad campaign.
Yeah.
And in 2006, Greg Maddux wins his 330th career game. It is National Toasted Marshmallow Day.
But the only time you do that is with s'mores, right?
Or at a campfire.
Yeah.
Like just on a campfire.
Just campfire.
Just eating the marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Does that seem wasted to you, or seem like half the battle as opposed to?
I'm not a huge marshmallow guy,
Okay.
and so like the only time that I'll eat a marshmallow is on a s'more. So like that sounds like, I mean, just really uncomfortable. Just eat a marshmallow. Yeah, that sounds uncomfortable.
I like a marshmallow off the campfire. I was never big on the.
Do you ever just eat them without putting them over the campfire?
No, not really.
Grab
I like
one
them,
out of the cabinet and pop it in the mouth?
Not really. No.
Yeah, that just.
I like them in my
feels
hot
a little
chocolate
painful.
occasionally, but just the little small ones.
I like
right?
them in my ice cream.
In your ice cream?
What do you think Rocky Road is? There's marshmallows in there.
Well, there's nuts in there too. So
Well,
that
sure.
keeps me from eating the Rocky Road.
Still a big fan.
What about in your Lucky Charms?
Not a big fan of mushrooms in my cereal.
Yeah, I'm not. Was never.
Mushrooms?
Not mushroom.
Marshmallows.
Them either. Marshmallows in my cereal. Now, fried mushrooms, that's a different story, but I don't think that would go well in cereal either. You mentioned the birthdays. Got a couple in the building today.
Okay.
Malone Taylor's celebrating her birthday today.
Who is? Malone is? Okay.
Yeah. I did not get her year.
That's okay.
She's young. So, that's later. However, it is also Mr. Waco himself, Choice Woodman's birthday. Mm-hmm. He's turning 32. I don't know what that is in Barry years.
That's young too.
I don't know what 32 is in Barry years. So we have to ask him or a
We
Baylor
should ghost him like they do, like when some guy comes up minor leagues and he hits his first home run and nobody goes out to greet him and they just sit in the dugout and act like nothing happened, right? And then once he gets in there, they all like go crazy on him, have fun with him, right? They all ghost him. So this is what we should do to Choice
Till like
today.
noon when they.
So nobody say
switch.
happy birthday to Choice, but then when he leaves, we'll dump a couple buckets of water on his head.
Oh, okay, good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Also celebrating birthday today, Cameron Diaz is 50, Warren Buffett 92, Adam Wainwright 42, Cliff Lee 45, Andy Roddick turns 40 today, and Robert Parrish is 69 today.
The Chief is 69. Wow.
And on this date, quite possibly one of Chuck Heinz' favorite inventions of all time debuted. John F. Kennedy becomes the first U.S. president to have a direct phone line to the Kremlin in Moscow.
Oh, the hotline, huh?
It was designed to facilitate communication between the president and the Soviet premier. The establishment of the hotline to the Kremlin came in the wake of the October 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, in which the U.S. and USSR had come dangerously close to World War III. White House issued a statement that the new hotline would help reduce the risk of war occurring by accident or miscommunication. Instead of relying on telegram letters that had to travel overseas, the new technology was a monumentous step toward very near future when American and Soviet leaders could simply pick up the phone and be instantly connected to one another 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was agreed upon, by the way, that it would only be used in emergencies and not more routine government exchanges.
I wonder how that went with Nixon and Leonid Brzezinski. Tricky Dick here, Leonid. How you doing?
And that's this day in sports history.
Right, 6:52. We had a real crisis at our house. I think it was Sunday morning. I wanted some Cheerios, and I was informed we only had Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh, those are solid.
In all my years on this great earth, the only thing that I had previously had in my Cheerios was bananas, other than Cheerios and milk. And so I suffered through it. And when I got done, what was great because the Honey Nuts sank to the bottom, and I could just eat the Cheerios.
That's all that's in Honey Nut Cheerio. It's just a flavoring that's on the Cheerios.
No. There's nuts in there. There were nuts, little honey nuts in there. There were some nuts in the Cheerios. Little nuts. It was at the bottom of my bowl. 6:53 this morning here on the morning drive. I know that that was just riveting. Yeah.
I'm just glad that things got worked out.
Yeah, it kind of all worked out.
Yeah.
It kind of all worked out.
Kind of feeling a little bit worried for the lucky lady there. I mean, there's no
what
telling.
the heck is going on here? We don't have any Cheerios in the house.
I was a little bit worried how you were going to handle all that. So
I was a big boy about it. Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe all that.
I was like, what? We don't have any. We don't have any Cheerios. We just have Honey Nut Cheerios.
I'm guessing. Are you guessing, Jeff, that there was a tone involved with what? We don't have any Honey Nut. We don't have any regular Cheerios.
Oh,
why do we have Honey Nut Cheerios?
100%. Although I'm looking at a box of Honey Nut Cheerios and seeing no nuts.
There were these little nuts in the bottom.
I don't doubt that there were nuts in your bowl. I'm saying they aren't on the box of cereal.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of...
Someone could have put extra nuts in your bowl.
A little bit of surprise. No, I poured my own cereal. Believe it or not, it took care of myself there. 6:54 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Coming up just after 7, we'll talk Red Raider football. As the Red Raiders will be in action on Saturday night. Our Optimum Game Day live coverage begins at 7 a.m. from the Frazier Alumni Pavilion. They're in the southwest corner of Jones Stadium. Texas Tech meets Murray State, the Racers, on Saturday evening. The kickoff is at 7 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear it right here on Double T 97.3. And then after the game, it's the Double T 97.3 Coors Light postgame show from the Overton Hotel and Conference Center just down the street. They're on the east side of Jones Stadium. So look forward to seeing you before the game, during the game, and after the game. All inclusive, right? Mm-hmm. So that should be a lot of fun. All right, Sports Center is next, and then we will hear from the head coach, Joey McGuire, about his football team and a couple things with regard to Murray State and his role on the sideline on Saturday evening.
Recapping yesterday while looking ahead to today's sports day. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3.
It's Tuesday. Nice to have you with us. Just kind of help with that friendly reminder in case you kind of get lost in the week a little bit. Don't want you to panic and think it's Friday already and like, where are my football tickets? And I need to download them. I had that thought this morning.
What if we get lost, though? Like the three of us, on what day it is?
It's a problem. I mean, it's a problem because
I feel like that should happen more than it does.
It's because then we become the band that leads them down the wrong part of the parade route.
Yes.
You know, we don't want to be that.
Like we walk them down the dead end road.
Right.
And then have to march back through itself.
Right. That's from Clay. Chuck at a press conference is like the kid the teacher avoids recognizing in class. Wow. Oh,
as someone who has been in a press conference with Chuck on many occasions, that is not true.
Thank you, Jeff.
It's the only problem is when A, wear flip flops, or B, when you start going, ooh, Mr. Carter, ooh, Mr. Carter. That's the only time.
Okay.
Now is Chuck the person?
Other than that, I think you're great.
Now is Chuck the person you avoid after the press conference?
Wow. Man, for my own guys here.
Did you ask anybody if there was any strategy yesterday?
No, did not. We did not have any strategy questions yesterday. No strategy questions yesterday.
I was also very proud of the Lubbock media. No one asked Joey McGuire if he was excited about playing a game this week.
Oh, okay. There
Again, my statement, Joey McGuire gets excited about brushing his teeth in the morning.
Yeah. Dan in Dallas reports that they did indeed for a fact go to the Floribama and had a bushwhacker, among other things. He also provided on the Yates Flooring Center chat line a picture of the Texas Tech banner that was hanging high there.
Sweet.
Okay, so feel like that we are well represented down there in the Gulf Shores this morning with Dan in Dallas doing his due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, more from the head football coach, Joey McGuire. Here he is talking about his offensive line heading into week 1 of the 2022 football season.
You know, we're ready to go, but it's going to also be, I think, a real battle. We're planning on playing probably between 7 and 8 offensive linemen in this game for a couple of reasons. One, we want to see what these guys do, of course, in a game. But there's still some position battles. That right tackle is a real battle with Ty coming back. He had a great week last week. Monroe has made a huge stride in his pass blocking this last week, so I'm really excited about that. And, again, I just continue to challenge Hamby, like, are these our best 5 guys? Whenever you have a room that you really are too deep and you have a guy like Jacoby Jackson who had a great camp, is he better playing – does he make us better playing right guard instead of backing up Weston at left guard? It's just one of those deals that's going to be a couple weeks like that to really see where we're at. Because, I've said it since the day I've got here. I mean, if you're going to win at a high level, you're going to win at a high level because you're O-line and D-line. And, that's something that we're going to continue to stress. I do think we are light years ahead of where we were in the spring.
So there you go. He also said, among the other things that he said, that they've got some freshmen that are going to play on that offensive line, and that he has had conversation with the freshmen that while you can play 4 games and still be eligible, some of you are going to have to play more than 4 games.
Yeah, and that's not a great situation.
Yeah.
To be in, to be relying on freshmen, but at the same time, let's hope that means they're talented guys, right? So yeah. I don't hate their. I think I like the concept that the coach is talking about here with playing aid, and I think it's one thing to see what a guy does in practice, but as we know, and usually we talk about it with skilled players, some guys when the lights come on, they play better than they do just in a practice setting, and so maybe it's the same way with offensive linemen. I think we can hold out hope for that, and we'll see if some of these guys who they were wondering about really show up and play well on Saturday. Yeah. So I think you use that in the evaluation period, and that's why a game like this against a team that you should handle pretty easily, these kind of games are important to be able to, see actual game situations and see how guys are handling it.
Mm-hmm. He also said, because he was asked about this with the quarter, and we'll get into maybe a little bit of this later, he talked about with the 3 different quarterbacks, how that works with the offensive line. And he said, because they're all similar in nature, they don't have and by that he means don't have a guy that just stands back and is a pocket passer per se.
Sure.
That they're all going to move. They're all going to move. He said that the offensive line is used to them because they're all similar. So that being able to go to a Donovan Smith or a Baron Morton, that there wouldn't have to be that much of an adjustment up front. Okay. So I thought that was interesting. The other thing, and I thought, you can say, well, this is coach speak or this, but this is his mindset. But he said this. He said he's told his players this. He said, when the ball is kicked off with regard to playing whomever, whether it's the quarterback or the offensive line or linebacker or receivers or running back or whatever, when the ball is kicked off, all I care about is winning. So in other words, I don't care who you are. If you're not playing well, you're coming out. If you're playing great, you're staying in. It's kind of what I got from that. But all I care about is winning. And I'm sure that every football coach in America is going to say that. Every coach of any kind of sport is going to say that. But that is his mindset. In other words, don't just kind of fall in love with a guy just because, hey, I named him the starting quarterback, and come hell or high water, we're going to be successful with him. But all I care about is winning. I thought that was really good too. Okay, so more from Coach McGuire with regard to the kicking. The field goal kicking is still up for grabs. Here he is.
They both have had great springs and great camps. I mean, we feel good about. I think it's going to be a feel. Trey's the guy that's going to be kicking off, I feel like he'll probably go out there, right off the bat, kicking the first one. But it's kind of one of those deals with those two guys. Whoever Kenny feels like warm up the best, ready to go, and the other guy, he'll be ready to go too. I mean, we're going to use both of them.
So may not even be a this week decision. Might even be a game day decision when you hear that, with regard to who's going to kick the field goals.
Yeah.
Does one kick better with the wind or against the wind? And we're talking about Trey Wolf and Gino Garcia. Garcia's the transfer.
You're really going to be paying attention in warm-ups now, aren't you?
I really am. Yeah, well, before, I was always worried about... Before, you'd always watch, okay, who is the center snapping the ball to? Who's the starting center snapping the ball to? Because that's who the starting quarterback is going to be.
But we already know who the starting quarterback is.
Tyler Shuck. What we don't know is who's going to kick the field goals.
Okay. Yeah, raise your hand if you are worried about the kicking situation.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of hands driving around Lubbock right now. People going, why is everybody waving their hands at us? No. Kicking situation. Very scary.
Somebody says this. I don't think every coach in America will say that. Where do you get that? I think if you were to say that, every coach is going to say, well, of course, when the ball's kicked off, all I care about is winning. But that is Coach McGuire's mindset, and that he stated that yesterday. I thought that was interesting.
What coach is going to say the contrary?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the mindset. I mean, I get it, and I totally understand by what he means by it. But the coach is going to say, well, I mean, in the heart of the game, sometimes I'm thinking about, I sure hope the crowd stays for the whole game. Or during the middle of the game, I'm like, well, I think it would be
Jamie's favorite player out there. I can't take him out.
Yeah, I think Billy, his mom and dad drove up from Post, so we should get Billy in the game.
Right. I mean, I get it. I just thought it was.
No, I'm agreeing with your point. I feel like that was an unfair criticism off the chat line.
Yeah.
I agree with your point. I mean, I think coaches have that mindset or whatever, but what he said there and is a little bit different in what you were saying. His point is that if you're not playing well, I'm not going to be afraid to go to somebody else. and you may be named the starter and you may be on the top of the depth chart, but if you're not playing well or if you missed your assignment, I'm going to play somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I take the comment.
That's kind of how I take it too. All right, more from Coach McGuire, and we'll also get a couple of comments here within the next hour and a half or so from Coach Kittley and Coach Tim DeRuiter. We've got plenty of time all week long, but next, Jamie has a question for us, Jeff, I, and you here this morning on the Morning Drive.
Getting you up and getting your sports day started. This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
All right, 7:30 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Time for Jamie's question of the day. But first, this comment on the Texas Tech quarterback situation from Texas Tech offensive coordinator Zach Kittley.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, when you go back and you look at all three guys had a great spring and great fall camp, but ultimately I think just his grasp of the offense was just a little bit better than the other two. He's very, very smart, very cerebral, has a great understanding of what the opponent's doing, understands fronts and coverages and blitzes probably just a little bit more than the others. And, again, it was never going to be a deal where Coach McGuire and I were battling at who it's going to be. I think if you were in this building, no matter what position you were, from the head coach to the offensive coordinator to the GA to the student managers that work with us every day, I think it was pretty apparent that Tyler Shuck should be QB1 around here. And so that was, again, it was never really a discussion that Coach McGuire and I had. It was just kind of apparent that that's where we needed to go with it. And that's where we went, and that's where we are.
That's offensive coordinator Zach Kittley.
All right, Chuck, Jeff, and our fine listening audience, after you hear those comments from Coach Kittley, do you feel better about the decision, worse about the decision, or about the same to go with Tyler Shuck as the starter?
That's a great question. Do I feel better? Do I feel worse? Or do I feel about the same? I guess I feel better. I guess. I kind of feel like, okay, so why didn't they just name him the starting quarterback at the start of the summer if it was apparent? Or at the start of camp, why didn't they say day one, Tyler Shuck's our starting quarterback because it's apparent to all of us that he has the grasp of this, blah, 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 blah. And I understand if they're doing this, or are they trying to make sure that they do their due diligence and then give everybody an opportunity so that they don't just up and transfer.
Okay.
To pile on the negativity there, at some point we were lied to. Were we lied at the beginning of the camp, or are we being lied to now? If he was head and shoulders, why was it a three-man race? If it was a three-man race, then he's not head and shoulders above. But it makes me feel better about my initial position, thinking that Shuck should be the starting quarterback. So.
Okay, well, I feel better.
You do? Okay.
I feel better.
Okay.
I think I was a little bit worried that, Shuck was the leader in the clubhouse at the end of the year because he was the veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just expected that, he was going to get the first shot at being the starter. And I think that just hearing that makes me feel like when they saw what they were seeing in the spring and then now in fall camp, that they felt like that was the right reason, or that was the right guy. And they had plenty of reasons. And they weren't struggling to figure out which guy, they're all really close, so we'll just go with the veteran guy. No, I don't think it sounds like that was not the case at all. And that they weren't close. Now, the others might have played well, but if he's head and shoulders above them, they didn't play nearly as well as Tyler Shuck did. So I think I feel better about things after hearing that. I don't want to use the word lie. I think coach speak, is what they had to do there. Yeah. And the question as to why they didn't name it at the beginning is because, like the things that you touched on, number one, they're going to give the other guys a chance to see if they can come on strong and, claim the position at the end. But the other part of it that we all know exists is they have to try to keep all three guys.
Yeah.
And you have to show all three guys, hey, you've got a shot. And if they had named it at the end of the spring, and then you had gone into fall camp saying, "Hey, Tyler's the starter here," well, you might not have one of your two other quarterbacks. So they've got to tell those guys that they've got to massage the egos so they can massage the roster a little bit.
Everyone wants to feel like they have a shot, right?
Right. And so I don't feel like they lied to them. Mm-hmm. I feel like they gave him a shot, even though they thought Tyler was the guy. And that's why they didn't name it at the end of the spring and know it all summer and name it at the beginning of fall camp, because then they had all been told, you're going to get a shot here.
They made Tyler Shuck earn it, and then basically he verified what they saw in the spring and the summer.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. And I think the other thought is, I think there is a thought, even though Shuck's got another year, is that if he has let's just say he has a good to great year, he's going to probably go on and play at the next level somewhere. Maybe would go on and make some real money, and then you have Donovan Smith and Baron Morton, and I think some think that Morton's got the most upside, but it's just not quite ready yet, and that from a pure kind of raw talent standpoint, Morton might be the best of the three, but is not ready to go out there every day yet. So hopefully all those guys understand their role and understand the pecking order, and that's where the head coach and the offensive coordinator or the quarterback coach or some GA or somebody that has the relationship, the true one-on-one relationship with these guys, can help talk them off the ledge from time to time when they're go home from practice mad because they didn't get the reps that the other guys got.
Sure.
And I think that's also part of it as well. So anyway, I think that's interesting. Let's see. Here's some things here from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Not naming at the end of spring also pushed Shuck. He said last year he didn't work as hard because he knew he was the starter. That's disappointing.
He said that?
I don't know that he ever said. If he said that, even if he said that to somebody, that's probably disappointing. He also didn't say he was the most talented. He grasped the offense the best and gives you the best shot. Maybe they were hoping it would just click for one of the other two quarterbacks that had more talent.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Somebody says this: he was not head and shoulders at the beginning. Okay. Well, I mean, I think all of us that were watching last year. I mean, and again, I realize it's a different coach. Blah blah blah. But it wasn't like there's just lights out, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't think it was terrible either. I mean, that was a guy you could play with and win with and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't think he was. I mean, I didn't look back at last season and think the season would have been different if we had him.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way?
No, not at all. In fact, I feel like he probably won a couple of games because you had Donovan Smith in there.
He definitely won some games for you. Yeah.
He apparently Shuck has told Coach McGuire that he can run the football because Coach McGuire's made it pretty clear, I think, that inside the 10 that you're most likely to see Donovan Smith, not necessarily every play. And I wanted to say out loud, yeah, and Tyler, you broke your collarbone running the ball in the end zone. So I'm not saying that you're fragile. It's just let's be smart.
Didn't get hit.
Yeah. So there you go. We shall see. Let's see here. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Tech will have over 500 yards Saturday. Diggity or no diggity, Chuck? Diggity is positive, right? If I think it's more than 500.
Diggity is doubt.
Oh, diggity is doubt.
So it's no doubt, no diggity.
Okay, then no diggity.
I can't believe I've had to explain no diggity to Chuck Heinz. This day is a red letter day for the morning drive.
Diggity or no diggity?
Thank you.
Clint had to explain it to me.
So I don't feel so bad then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just more along the lines of thank you, Clint Scott. That's where this comes from.
500 yards of offense Saturday. Yeah, I think you'll get there. I don't think you'll be way above that.
Yeah, I think you'll be. Even if it's.
I mean, you're not putting up Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree kind of 700-yard days.
No, Patrick Mahomes.
B.J. Simmons days where he was racking up 700-yard games left and right.
Yeah. This Shuck gives a ceiling of an 8-9 win team. Morton is a 6-7 win team. He hasn't taken real snaps except 2 or 3 against Oklahoma State. I think it's Shuck, Donovan Smith, then Baron Morton. I know what's listed as or, but I think that's the 1, 2, 3.
I have no idea. I'm not gonna pretend I know.
I mean, I'm not.
That would be an assumption because he was the starter last year.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
But I have no knowledge of whether that's true or not.
I'm just assuming that. No, he was not asked that specifically yesterday, so it says or.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what he wouldn't have answered it. He would have answered it with coach speak, right?
Yeah, right. Well, we got.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have put or.
Yeah, so that's.
He would have.
You got 2A and 2B, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, one of them's going to have to come out there first.
Recapping yesterday while looking ahead to today's sports day. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3.
I think we've been pretty accurate today with our stuff. I'm not sure how entertaining we've been, but I think we've been pretty accurate today. So sometimes you have to sacrifice entertainment for accuracy, and then there are a lot of days that we sacrifice accuracy for entertainment.
Okay.
I'm not sure that we're going to effort to have both. This communique, Pepsi Man says, "Good morning from Danville, Illinois. Just want to say happy first Tuesday of game week. LOL, just playing, Chuck." Oh, well, happy first Tuesday of game week to you too, Pepsi Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Texas Tech with a new coach. This is the 17th debut of a head football coach. Is 10-5-1 all-time in games where its head coach is making his debut. The Red Raiders have won 4 consecutive contests going back to Mike Leach's first game in 2000. So Coach Leach, Coach Tuberville, Coach Kingsbury, Coach Wells.
Okay.
Some of those have been a little dicey for their beginnings, right? I think Coach Tuberville and Coach Wells were like, yeah, but, so a win is a win, right?
Tell me again what it was like.
It's like, it's a little dicey, Man, I was so excited yesterday. Got the media guide. I don't know that we've had one of these in quite some time. At least it doesn't feel like it, or I wasn't issued one. I don't think there was one last year. I think it was only available online, but they actually printed one this year, and it was just so exciting to get, Jamie. Coach Leach's first game was against New Mexico, winning 24-3 in front of 42,238. Okay. Coach Tuberville's first game was against SMU in 2010. Winning 35-27. So,
that was a tight one.
In front of 57,528.
Felt like you were always in control, but just never were able to put it away.
Coach Kingsbury's first win was also against SMU. That was as hot a game as I have ever been to. I'm still sweating from that game.
Baker and his double guns.
41-23, Red Raiders won at SMU. In front of 34,790. But, man, I remember Dickens and I did the morning show from the hotel that we were staying in, which was right across the street from Gerald Ford Stadium. And I remember being out there at like 5:45 in the morning sweating.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just
think about the rest of us that were in the heat of the day.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Right. I know.
You guys had it easy.
We did. Matt Wells' first game was against Montana State, so that was a 45-10 victory in front of 54,183. So that was...
Man, I do not remember us ever playing Montana State.
But we did.
And it was only how many years ago?
Aren't they in Bozeman? Isn't that where the Bozeman Tech Talk weather love comes from?
Yeah.
No idea.
They are in Bozeman. 45 to...
That's
45
the only
to 10.
thing I remember about them.
So there you go. And then for Coach Kingsbury, his first win at home was against Stephen F. Austin, 61-13, and that was frankly a game last year that Texas Tech should have lost, but
Wasn't
did not.
The Montana State game, they brought their band and treated it like a bowl game, right? If I remember correctly. And, like, after halftime, the band walked around the entire ring of the stadium and shook hands with every kid that stuck their hand out all the way around,
Okay,
if I remember correctly.
I don't necessarily recall that.
I remember that being a really cool moment. I was like, you know what? I'm rooting for these guys now. Not in this game, but like in the future.
Okay, this was a question that you posed, and I posed it to the head coach yesterday, Joey McGuire, because you were curious about, we know what the package looks like for Donovan Smith, when he comes in, like in the red zone or maybe inside the 5 or something like that, or at least we feel like we do, right? And then, he's going to either run or pass, but I mean, he's a big guy. But what does it look like for Baron Morton? And this is what Joey McGuire had to say about his packages and how they look distinctively for each of the quarterbacks.
The one good thing about all three, they'll have the grasp for the offense. Whenever we go with our 2 offense, Baron and Donovan are both getting reps and everything. But, I think it's one of those deals that you're going to see Donovan in certain red zone situations. He's one of the guys. Shuck said the other day, he goes, Coach, I can run the football. And I said, I know you can. And he's going to. But I think you'll see Donovan come in some red zone situations. I think with Barron, it could be a change of pace, really moving the pocket with him. Because the one thing that Barron, you said it last night, one thing that Barron does well is he's probably the best. All three of them do, but he's one of the best throwing on the move. He's got a really live arm, and so there's going to be some stuff like that where we can move the pocket with him. But my plan is to get them all three in the game, and not to where it's at the end of the game or anything like that. And I know they're excited about that. And the one thing that will just keep evolving is their package and how we're going to use them at different times. And we got some surprises for a lot of people whenever it comes to those 3 quarterbacks.
So there you go.
Okay.
That's the distinctive difference between the 3. So when he said you talked about it last night, he wasn't referring to me. He was referring to somebody else in the room. He said you. He wasn't. He was referring to Pete Christie. Wasn't referring to me.
No one had to know that.
No, but I was just...
Could have been you. You were talking about him last night somewhere.
Full disclosure. Yeah, it's just...
Glad to hear Pete's doing okay.
We could be a little more closed.
8:22 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line.
Did he use your name in any of his responses yesterday?
He did not. I'm not sure he knows. He always says, "Hey, man," which is, I got it.
He doesn't.
So
that means he doesn't.
He knows who I am, but he's just like,
hey, don't feel bad. That's how my 2 children refer to me too.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. Do they say really?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I need that, Jack.
See, I told him my name. He's right there.
All right. Thank you. Let me know. I will.
I'm never going to live that down.
Full disclosure, they also refer to my wife as Hey Man too.
Is that right?
And the whole family. That's what we do.
Mrs.
That's
Lent.
what we do. Everybody's
Okay.
Hey Man.
Hey, man.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
kind
man.
of what we do.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey,
Started
man.
out as a joke with one of the kids, and so now it's a running joke.
It's a running joke.
Even with the dog.
Hey, coach.
He's Hey Man too.
Hey, man. Hey, coach.
Chuck, I really do want you to not feel bad, though. Because, we all know that there's someone out there that absolutely adores you.
This guy is a tiger in a trance in a state of circumstance.
that never gets old.
And I love all
Never
things
does.
Chuck.
It never will. Well, that's not the only one, though.
Right.
Oh, well, yeah.
What about
my man.
my guy Brandon?
Brandon Francis.
Chuck's guy Brandon.
Yeah.
It's hiding. Why is it hiding? There it is.
Man, of course I met Chuck. That's my guy.
Yeah.
We don't have any famous people saying that about Jeff and I, Chuck.
Yeah.
So, that's why you're the head man of this whole thing here.
When I talk to the baseball guys, I always bring up your name, and they always smile.
And they'll go, who? Who?
No, they know who you are.
Oh, he was the guy talking with Haxton when he caught the foul ball.
Oh, yeah. Haxton's sidekick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I remember him.
How about this? From the Yates Flooring Center chat line? I'm not sure who this is from. It's not from Pepsi Man because it doesn't have a Pepsi Man emoji. Morning, fellow Lubbockites and Red Raiders. Headed to Murray, Kentucky with 48,500 pounds of cream. I've got the window flags going and the guns up stickers rocking and rolling. And if I don't make it out alive, please call my mama. LOL. There you go.
Is Murray State in Murray?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a city named Murray.
I believe it is.
I did not know that.
Murray State. And the Racers is like a racehorse. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. Murray, Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you educated me today.
That's good.
We know who Racer 26 favorite player is on Murray State, don't you, Chuck?
Number 26.
Number 26. Because he's what? He's Racer 26.
The mascot is Racer 1. Okay.
Okay.
And the mascot, the costumed version of that is named as Dunker.
Dunker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect for basketball season.
This from a friend. Hey, man, I'm proud to know you by your name. What was it again? Oh, yeah, Chuck Heinz.
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.